Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about The Walking Dead Season 8. We got a Q&A. This is going to be a Kickstarter of sorts because this is going to kickstart the mainly Season 8 discussions about The Walking Dead TV show. But there most likely will be questions about other things related to The Walking Dead. So this is going to be in the form of a Q&A. I'm going to answer your questions, or as many as I can find, scrolling down the comment section for the most recent video. So if you have any new material, you watch the video first, make sure we don't answer something that you are going to ask already. But if you have anything new and you want to contribute to the next discussion video, go ahead and ask down below. Now, the videos will definitely be up, a Walking Dead discussion every Wednesday. It's for Walker Withdrawal Wednesday, and in between, if we get any major news, we will upload a video. But other than that, expect a video definitely on Wednesday. Now, before we dive into your questions, I opened this piece of mail. Normally, I put these into map mail videos, but this is something you guys, if you're a Walking Dead fan, you're going to want to see. So, and that's going to ruin the surprise. I'll read that when I'm done. But let's pull this out. Actually, if you see the shape of it, you're probably going to already know what it is, but look at that. It's a Lucille bat made out of paper and styrofoam. I'm just joking. I'm going to edit this. Let me cut into this beast because I don't want you sitting here forever. This looks like it's wrapped very well. I'm making an unnecessary mess. Okay, so it's got the screen accurate on the top, and this is nice. Take off little bits of paper protection there. Just a little bit, and that was because, again, I was being rough with it, but not rough with it, but I was being rough with the paper, and some little shreds got in the barbs. But wow, that is pokey. Now, you can't tell on screen, even though this looks screen accurate, but this is in fact real barbed wire. It is in fact a real baseball bat, and I tell you what, this is the very first real screen accurate Lucille in my collection, despite the realistic McFarlane toys. And the reason I'm showing this off specifically in this video and not the map mail is because you can actually purchase these. I'm going to read the information in a moment. A war veteran messaged me the other day and asked if I'd like to show off a Lucille bat, and I told him, listen, I'll be honest with you, if it's not decent quality, I'm going to have to slam it because I got to be honest. And he said, that ain't nothing. And you can look, if you can see, it's definitely very well done. Absolutely very well done. Even the blood and how it's caked on there. See how the light hits it? Man, and it's a real bat, you know? Man, that is nice. Hey, Ronnie, I appreciate your videos. And here's the Lucille bat. A lot of work and time went into this bat, something I have a lot of being a disabled vet. I really hope you enjoy owning it as much as I enjoy. I enjoy making them. Great videos, and keep up the amazing work. I really appreciate that. Taylor Ryder. P.S. As you know, I sell them on eBay. My eBay ID is Taylor Ryder. I'm going to put that on the screen because I just messed it up. It's Taylor Ride _O for those. I'm going to find the link to and put it down below because I just totally screwed that up. I think it's Ride with a Y instead of an I. For those who want to purchase one, should have some up by Tuesday the 11th. That is right here. That's the eBay account. You could go look them up. I will put a direct link in the video description. And firsthand, looking at this piece, I'll try to go in close, but firsthand, this is outstanding. Outstanding. You got a drip of blood going down here. Some Abraham or Glenn's blood. That's most likely Glenn's blood. And let me get in real close and we'll get right into the questions. I did it twice. Oh, shit. Oh, I poked the shit out of my fingers. Everything looks fantastic. It's a real bat. It's real barbed wire, and it's wrapped around. It ain't skimpy. That's one of the biggest problems with the homemade Negan bats. To save money, they skimp around it. From some that I've seen, I'm sure there's plenty of great ones out there, but this is fan-frickin-tastic. And I am so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. I was getting so nervous I was going to rip this bat apart when it got here and feel like a dick, because it was just trash, I'd have to say it. Anyway, great bat. Oh my God, we're here for some questions. Let's get into the questions. Lucille's going to go right there in the corner, and let's dive in for the first question. Macroryification or something. They could feasibly starve out the saviors, right? Alexandria, Hilltop, the Kingdom, none of them giving anything to the saviors anymore, and there is a lot of saviors to feed. And then you got a quote from Morgan, it always comes down to food. Listen, because of that intro ran a little long with the bat and all, I'll make this an extra long one. So if you are out there and you don't like the extra long ones, sorry. Watch it in pieces. Maybe I'll even make a part 2 and I'll put it up tomorrow just to give you guys a lot more content for the Walking Dead TV show. Yeah, could they starve them out feasibly? Here's the thing, yes and no. As a long-term tactic, sure. If it went long-term, if this was a fight that spanned months, hell yeah, you can starve the shit out of them. But this is a fight that's going to unravel over maybe a few weeks. You know what I mean? That would be pushing it for the fight to unfold over the course of a few months. I think that is pushing it. But a few weeks is definitely something that could bring on warning signs that Negan and his group, like, I can't picture Negan coming up with this shit. He's got so much going on. I could picture Simon coming up being like, you know, Negan, we get most of our supplies from the communities. If we do not get these supplies after a few weeks, maybe even after 1 week, shit's going to start getting bad, because you have to understand, they built up their own thing around the sanctuary, then they started bringing in other communities. Those other communities started contributing to their economy. You know what I mean? How everything functions. Taking away, 3 different communities? One is new, but still, taking away those communities and their contributions, that's definitely going to hit them in the economy. And since it's post-apocalyptic, it's not just money. It's food. It's bartering. It's all of that. So that's some tough shit. And yeah, that will be a problem. And that's the part I love about the hidden politics. And again, I'm using a wide paintbrush covering everything outside of battling in the politics shit, because it is political. Negan has to get political if he wants to win, because again, like he said in the comic, you can't rape these people. They will not work with us if you rape their chicks, you know, and the chicks will not work with you if you rape them. It's just not going to work. It's not smart. So yada yada yada. So yeah, but the problem is, I don't think it's long-term enough to actually work just starving them out. But it is a tactic they should be aware of, both sides. Ronnie, she could be playing Negan's wife. Listen, a ton of people said this, that the new actress Maria Bello that we talked about yesterday could be playing Negan's wife, and that is absolutely a possibility, and it's something that when I first heard, I was okay with. If that's the case, yeah. Ironically, she'd have to shave her head. You know, people said she'd be alpha. If she wasn't alpha, she'd still have to shave her head. So if she was Negan's wife and people saw her with a shaved head, or maybe they do some type of bald cap, the fan base would go nuts and be like, she's definitely alpha. And here it would be a cancer patient. You know what I mean? So the fans would just be, I can see that blowing up the internet in a ridiculous way. Joey said, I don't understand why people don't like Fear the Walking Dead. I say make videos on it. Well, here's the thing. I don't know. People like different things. So maybe you don't understand specific parts. Like, there's parts that I really like in Fear the Walking Dead. The only problem is when it comes to liking content and then liking material and then creating the content, it comes down to, am I going to review Better Call Saul, you know, or am I just going to watch it and then put my time towards something else? Right now, like Better Call Saul, I'm using as an example. I like it, but I like it way more watching it, and then that's it. I don't even discuss it. For me, it's way too slow at this point in time. If Fear the Walking Dead, and not just slow, don't even get me started with that. That always goes down a side alley of bullshit arguments and discussions that just deviate from the point. We don't say slow. I mean, it's not that interesting. It's just not. If Fear the Walking Dead goes down that path where it's okay, it's better than most zombie movies, but it's just not that interesting, and it doesn't make me excited to come and break it down and do reviews, I might do 3-minute mini reviews, something mini, just to discuss it, but I'm probably not going to do predictions. I probably won't do breakdowns. It'll probably just be, hey, let's review the episode. Is it good, is it bad, and then keep it moving. Because there's so many. I got a binder filled of other material I think is way better and deserves my attention more than Fear the Walking Dead. Again, if it doesn't pick up and do better than it did in Season 2. We do not need the Whispers in Season 8. No, we don't. If you're a TV-only fan, the Whispers are just a new form of bad guys. And, yeah, we don't need them. Just put it that way. Yeah, people need to relax saying Alpha or Magna. She could easily be a side character from Oceanside or even the Kingdom or somebody from one of Negan's outposts, like a female Maggie, Carol. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, too. And I even wrote, that is very true. That is the biggest thing. It could just be a side character, a one-and-done character, or she could be in half a season and then maybe even survive, but we don't really see her again because the communities become so large and the story grows. That would be pretty cool to see an actor of that range enter into the story a little bit and then leave. And then maybe we see her in Season 10 in, maybe she could come for, like, the fair. They have a fair later on. Just something small, which is cool because we saw a fair setup. It would be cool to revisit that or make it look like they took some of those supplies and brought it to their fair. I think that would be freaking awesome. And if Scott Gimple put that in there to set that up for the later season, that would absolutely make Say Yes, that episode, immediately twice as awesome if it was set up for something to come. Excuse me. I love when they set something up and it gives the episode more purpose and meaning, and I absolutely love it. Aeroplane Blues. I wouldn't mind Maria as Alpha, but wouldn't AMC and Gimple also cast Beta if they were casting Whispers? Well, no, here's the problem. She has a friend that's a producer, so she asked a producer. I'm just speculating, but showing you why Beta wasn't cast, if this was, but it's not. She would ask the producer would say, I got you, we will write a little part for you. And then if they did say, hey, we want her for Alpha, they wouldn't cast Beta until they were ready. And they would tell her, we have a part, but it's not going to be for a while. So that's how that unfolds. You know what I mean? Just because they say, okay, we're going to make her Alpha, well, let's cast Beta way early. No, it's just a totally different circumstance than casting for the role. This is just a friend saying, hey, give me a role. I would rather see her be an outpost savior. She could tie into Heath or Sherry's storyline, but either way is fine with me. I think it would be really cool to have, and I know nowadays you got to be very careful with gay characters because you put them in and sometimes and it is true, this is not a bullshit, it's not like a homophobic. There are real moments where they're just forcing gay characters in there because they want to be seen as cool and yada yada, and it's fake as shit. I don't give a damn. If it's fake, it comes off as fake. So I know when I say this, there's going to be some people that are going to go, okay, enough with the gay characters. We get it because it's being forced into so many different things on TV, in movies. Everywhere you look, you even see memos, you know what I mean? Force gay characters in. When I think this would be a organic or an authentic way to insert a gay character if Maria Bello's character was actually in love with or in a relationship with the girl that Michonne killed, the savior that Michonne killed. That would be badass because she would be searching for that girl, trying to figure out what happened. And if Maria was a savior who was looking for her girlfriend, maybe she even has a suspicion that another savior killed her. So that's why maybe she joins with Dwight too. Maybe it's more than one. Maybe it's not just Dwight. Maybe it's a handful of saviors that decide to turn on Negan. Maybe Dwight convinces her to turn on Negan too, but later she finds out that Michonne is the one who killed her girlfriend. And this could be even when they're planning something, or this could be when they go to scope out this site. Michonne could be, oh, that savior girl I killed, whatever. And this, what savior girl? What'd she look like? She's like, she had the red hair, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. And that could create her who was going to turn on Negan now deciding to get revenge and set up the good guys. And this could be a big battle that at first we thought we were going to win, but because of the betrayal from this savior, Maria Bello's character, who now wants revenge, boom, now we have a whole setup for a win. The survivors are going to win. And because of this thing that Michonne did before, and we never knew, now the survivors get slaughtered and put in deaths. Like in the comic, the character's already dead. It was Richard, but Ezekiel's group lost a battle hardcore. This could be it. And you could have sown the seeds earlier without even knowing it, as far as Michonne's kill back then, and it could give more purpose to that kill. We see a lot of things in Season 7 that fans have a problem with, and I'm going to relate this to Man of Steel. Fans had a problem with Man of Steel because of the destruction. I think it was genius, creative genius, to take that and use that to kickstart the story for the sequel. That is so fantastic. They should do it more and more. If you create a lackluster season, go in there and pick out these moments like the girl that Michonne killed. Create a new story out of that. It gives that purpose. So then when we go and rewatch it, we're going to watch that episode again, and it has more purpose, it has more meaning, and hence it is just all around better because it has that purpose. You don't have to do that with everything. Don't get me wrong. They don't have to do that. But that is definitely something that could give older episodes way more purpose. What else we got? I went off on a tangent. Let's go here. Yeah, I think we covered that already. She's playing Lucille. Yeah, that would be funny. She's screaming. Negan has her by the ankles. More Walking Dead videos, dude. I don't understand questions like that. We do like 20 at the minimum. 20 Walking Dead videos a month. And even though we put out a lot of other random different videos, if you go 3 days without doing a video, or if you go 3 days without making a Walking Dead video, it's like you were gone for 6 months. You know, it's fucking crazy. True Panic. I didn't like Fear the Walking Dead at first, but I think it really picked up in the second half of Season 2. Look forward to Season 3. Yeah, I'm excited for Season 3. I want Fear the Walking Dead to do good. I want it to do real good. I want to look forward to the Fear the Walking Dead the way I look forward to The Walking Dead. And don't mistake that by me saying I want them to be the same. Not at all. I actually want them to be completely different. I think it's refreshing to have something that's totally different. 101 Mythbusters. Today is actually Maria's 50th birthday. I think she's too old to play Alpha. No, probably not, but if that's something to consider, it's something to consider. I don't think so, because it's movie magic, man. You can get her to look 40 if you wanted, and that'd be fine. Hey, Ronnie, have you heard after Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, the showrunner will be booted out and Gimple will take over for Season 4? Yep, Gimple is leaving The Walking Dead and coming to Fear the Walking Dead. That is not true. We'll get to that in a minute, but that's absolutely not true. I really hope he makes the show good, because Fear the Walking Dead fucking sucking so far, and I swear if any Fear the Walking Dead... Alright, whatever. No, that's completely false. Not true at all. Yes, it's true the showrunner is leaving. He's not getting booted. I don't know the details behind it, but the showrunner, coincidentally, is going to create, we'll keep it simple, he's going to create new projects for AMC. So he's still working with AMC. So either he did really good, and this was the plan all along, or they don't want to boot him, but whatever they're doing, whatever he's doing, it's just not working, and they need to replace him. But in order to make up for that, maybe they feel bad, maybe they understand, they're like, we like what you're doing, but the fan base is not reacting well to it. You know what? Can you come and help us with these other projects? Kind of like, they don't want to get rid of him, but they gotta, because the ratings aren't as good as they need them to be. End of story. So they have him helping out, because the dude does good work from what we could tell with Sons of Anarchy, even with Fear the Walking Dead. There's a fantastic story under there. You just need to turn up the heat a little bit at some points in times. I think the biggest problem, Fear the Walking Dead seems like it's mapped out where I want this, this, and this. I want Nick away from the family. Because it's mapped out in that certain way, now we force some things into the story that's artificial and it's shit. It was one of my biggest problems. Nick leaving his family was utter shit. It is 100% stupid as fuck. He left his own family, who took care of him that entire time and babied him and yada yada yada. That's all they showed. And then he met this new guy who is a complete shit, and he thanks the guy for caring. What? His whole family was caring. We went down that road a number of times, but I feel like there's good shit there. They just needed somebody else. You needed to bring in another creative mind to just kind of rough the waters a little bit and be like, nope, that's wrong. Nope, do this a little bit. Or nope, da-da-da-da. I don't know, like a fan advisor or something. And I think you could have kept the showrunner. Absolutely. These other two showrunners, I don't know how well this is going to turn out. I looked up their shit in IMDb. Unless I looked up the wrong two guys from what they worked on in the past, that popped up right away, I am not convinced at all they would be any good. But I don't know them like that. They could definitely surprise us. Anyway, where were we? Correcting this. Yes, Scott Gimple is not a showrunner for Fear the Walking Dead. He's a showrunner still for The Walking Dead. He did not leave. He is going to be an executive producer on the Fear the Walking Dead season, starting season 4. Greg Nicotero is already a producer. I think Gail Ann Hurd or Denise Huth, something like that. But people from The Walking Dead are already producers on Fear the Walking Dead. It's not like this big old change. The biggest thing is the showrunner. And I'm hoping it does what it needs to do to get the fan base out there. And again, going back to the bottom line about it, the bottom line is they got something solid. There's real talent there with Fear the Walking Dead. They're just missing an element to rough the waters in that writer's room to say, this doesn't make sense. We can definitely make this better. Why go this route? We can add something here. Let's, spice this moment up a little bit. There's good stuff there. There was just an element missing that was dragging it all down. And that is primarily why a majority of the fan base just stop watching after the first episode. And don't give me that shit that people hate it because it's not The Walking Dead. I'm sure there's a handful of people that do, but where is the logic in zombie fans hating a zombie show because it's not the other zombie show? There's just, man, that is such a dumb excuse. That's the worst excuse I've ever heard. You can't, I don't know. I get frustrated with that because I friggin' love zombies. Fear the Walking Dead is just not that good. Fanboy gave up on Fear since there was only one likable character. That's arguable. I liked Danny. Is that his character? No. Oh, damn it. The guy who burned up in the fire or who disappeared. Danny Salazar, that's his name, right? I think he was Danny in Predator 2, wasn't he? It doesn't matter, but anyway, I really like his character. Listen, I almost believe the actor wasn't even thrilled with the writing, and he might have said, hey, fake kill me off, and then if it picks up again, I will come back. That's what I thought when they fake killed him off. I said, oh, he's not happy. They'll bring him back later. Listen, we will talk about Fear the Walking Dead when it first comes on, but I don't downright hate it. I've stood up for it in the past. It's impossible to let your feelings be known with Fear the Walking Dead without someone taking it the wrong way, because I've stood up for it when I've liked it. I've shit-talked it when I didn't like it. Brooklyn Light Entertainment. Ronnie, with the writer's strike approaching, do you think they will have any negative effects on Season 8 of The Walking Dead? Here's the thing with The Walking Dead. Even though there's a writer's strike, you can't stop Scott Gimple from coming up with the ideas. On top of that, even if there's a writer's strike, Scott Gimple and team have been building what's going to happen in Season 8. They might not have each episode scripted, sure, And that's probably what the writer's strike, if it did come, that's probably where it would do the most damage, getting each season put together. I used to look into writer's strikes and all this other shit, and I totally forget what was the punishment for bringing on outside. But I always wondered this. I'm always like, wait a minute, I got to look into it again. I remember reading about it, and I always thought it was so dumb. Why couldn't they just, hey, we know these people are good. They're not even, in Hollywood or getting paid a lot. They're not even known. We could just email them, hey, write us up a couple great scripts. Let's see them. If they write some awesome scripts, you can use them and just pay them half, a quarter, a fraction of what, Hollywood writers. People would do that shit for little money just to do that shit, even if they don't even get credit or nothing, I would ghostwrite the shit out of a script for a little bit of cash, and just knowing, I wouldn't even tell anyone, just knowing, I'm sure you could find other writers like that who would be ready to do it. But again, I forget what the punishment is, but I think there is something where you can't, you can't cast actors who are not in the union and all this other shit and whoopla, and I don't know. There's a lot I disagree with. There's a lot I do agree with, though. Like the guilds, they do help writers and shit, so it's a mix-up. But anyway, I think it could affect it each episode-wise, but I think the story, they got a lot of it outlined with 80% of what they want to accomplish, but I think the negative effects will be each episode and how to structure that episode and put it together. What else we got? Cooper F. Another great vid, Ronnie. Hype for the next Walker Withdrawal Wednesday. Well, here it is. We're going to stop in 2 minutes. I will record another one for tomorrow. What do we got? Adam Mason. Fear the Walking Dead is great. It has issues like most shows. That is true. Most shows do have issues. Everything has problems. Bone Tomahawk is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I'll tell you right now, there is such a huge mistake in one of the moments where a character gets severely injured, and it's a phantom villain, because when they do a wide shot, a character gets cut, they do a wide shot immediately, and there's no bad guy there. There's no bad guy. It's such a massively huge oversight in the editing and the filming process. It's a huge mistake, storyboarding, setting it up. And I don't care, because even that scene is done so well, so friggin' well. Anyway, lots of shows have problems, yes, and movies. But it also knows it can't hold a candle to The Walking Dead, but can still give us a great show during the off-season of The Walking Dead. Living in the shadow of The Walking Dead must be tough, but I applaud AMC for giving us content that interests zombie drama lovers, and I support as much as I do The Walking Dead. I also believe 2 seasons isn't enough in a genre like this to know it has legs or not, so I'm very interested in season 3. Yeah, I can definitely understand. I definitely understand what you mean by that. Absolutely. I only disagree with the last one strongly. 2 seasons is more than enough. The only thing that you say 2 seasons, I say 2 episodes. I knew from 60 minutes, no. I knew from, I think it was like 100 minutes, wasn't it? 104 minutes watching The Walking Dead. I've told this story a number of times. I will summarize it. I ran right outside to my neighbor and I said, this is the next Star Wars. Off 1 episode, because you look at everything together, how they put this together with the passion, and you look at the pacing and the cinematography, the camera, you look at the mood, the tone that they set up, the story they're telling, the acting, the presentation. I mean, you look at all that, it comes together and you know immediately, not with every show, not with every movie. It's not all like that, but 2 seasons, it's more than enough to get your legs, absolutely. Now, I will admit, yeah, it only had 6 episodes, sure, but you can do a lot with just that little bit. What else we got? But I do agree with you about giving it some time and not knocking it so much. It's not as bad as people make it out to be, who say it's complete trash, it's absolutely horrible. People say that about The Walking Dead. I get tons of comments about The Walking Dead saying this show is, one of the worst shows that's ever been made. That is just factually not true. That is just an insane thing to say. There are shows that are done well that I just don't like, that I call trash, but I know when I say that's trash, it's trash because it's not my tastes. You know what I mean? If The Walking Dead is not your tastes, it's not your taste. It doesn't mean it's trash. So I apply that to Fear the Walking Dead as well, even though I got to be harder on it because we're reviewing it, and I got to, if something sucks, I got to knock it. You know what I mean? Francis Zeeley, I'm not especially excited for Fear the Walking Dead, but I'm going to watch it because I'm still very interested in this universe, and I like the variety Fear brings. It would be much more enjoyable if they were doing videos for it, though, Ronnie. Oh, if I was? Yeah. We're going to do some, at least some. Chris Caldwell. Yo, Ronnie, do you still trust AMC to bring all-out war justice in Season 8? Not fully. I've never fully trusted them. I don't ever fully trust anybody or anything or any company. Lots of things can always go wrong, with the terrible structuring, catering to casual fans over the gore, and the obvious budget issues in Season 7, I'm very concerned that AMC will rush all-out war simply similar to how they did with Terminus. I will strongly disagree with you with Terminus. Terminus was supposed to be a short story. They gave it a little bit more oomph, and I can see how that could look like, oh, they rushed it. You know what I mean? Having that whole Terminus set up, a lot of fans might see that, oh, the big building, it's a whole community. in the next episode, it gets blown up and they're back on the road. I can see that, but in the same strength, knowing the source material, you appreciate it for all the buildup it has. The buildup to that community, the backstory of that community, and escaping that community. In the comic, it was over in just, 4 issues or something? Yes, it was so awesome. I wanted it to keep going, but sometimes that is what makes it awesome, because it's tight, it hits the notes it needs to hit, and it knows when to end, so it's not drawing it out. Sometimes that's what writers just don't understand. It's hot, yeah, but you got to end it or you're going to draw it out, drag it out. I am very concerned, They rushed the Hunter storyline of season 5 and gave us the pointless Beth Hospital arc instead. Yeah, I don't like the Beth Hospital arc. I'll agree with you on that. Even after rewatching it, there's a lot of things that were done well. There's a lot of gore effects that were done well. There's a lot of acting that was done well. There's a lot of cinematography, of pacing. There's a lot of stuff individually that was done well, but the whole Beth story arc all in itself, I wish they would have done something different. Beth is a character that should have just died, quick, get it over with, and then move on to Maggie's mourning, Watching Rick and Gareth go back and forth would have been way more engaging to watch for the majority of the first half of Season 5. Do you feel they will do something similar to All Out War in Season 8? I don't have a worry they're going to end it in the first half and then be all done with it. I have more of a worry that, when I say it's not all fighting, there's going to be stuff in between and whoop-de-whoop, I'm worried they're going to do that, but add even more stuff in between. Like, you might have episode 1, it starts off with a bang, it does some nuts, crazy shit. Episode 2 maybe recovers from that and we plan and prep for something else, and then we go into episode 3 and we find out that Gregory is doing this with the Saviors, and the Saviors set up and they plan for something crazy in episode 4. Episode 4 comes, the survivors take a heavy hit, and then episode 5 comes and it's like, okay, we gotta recuperate, we gotta do this other shit. Episode 6 comes, it's like, okay. Episode 7 comes, it's like, okay, we're still doing this other shit. Episode 8 comes, it's like, okay, we're preparing for this big war. The war kicks off and it leads us into episode 9. Episode 9 comes and it's like a big war, but then episode 10's downtime, 11's downtime, 12's downtime, 13's a skirmish, 14's downtime, 15's downtime, 16's downtime. 16, I got ahead of myself. 16's a big battle. I'm worried they're going to do shit like that instead of having something a little more tighter and a lot more war than what we're going to get. I did not articulate that well. Bottom line is, yeah, I feel like they might do what we think, but add in a lot more planning and prepping than we need. A lot more character development without interesting scenes or situations happening around it. You know what I mean? Because that's one of my biggest flaws with the Walking Dead. Anyway, we're going to dive into another video. I made this one massively, insanely long, so it'll probably take a couple hours to upload. So you'll probably get this later on Wednesday night. I'm going to do another video. I will post that tomorrow. We're going to scroll through some more comments. So come back tomorrow for that one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you loved it, please hit that like button. I'm done talking. It's your turn. That's all I got.
Subscribe now.